Welcome to WP Constellations, a podcast exploration of the WordPress universe, brought to you by Stellar WP. Welcome to a special episode of WP Constellations, the WordCamp US edition. In this episode, I spoke with 11 different members of the WordPress community and asked them about what they do with WordPress, as well as their hopes for the future of WordPress and their products. Because it was day 3 of WordCamp and day 5, including the community summit, my voice was hoarse, but I don't think that takes away from the highlights our guests shared. Enjoy the episode. We'll be back next week with our regular content. Good morning. We are here at WordCamp US, and I am grateful to Matt Lau to be here this morning and talk to me a little bit about how WordCamp is going. So Matt, first tell us, who are you? What do you do with WordPress? And maybe why you decided to come to WordCamp US this year?
Yeah, so I'm Matt Lau, as you said, and I'm the founder of a company called MindSpun. We're a small boutique development company, and we're releasing a product that takes payments for Stripe. So it's recurring subscriptions for that space. So I'm here at WordCamp with very few sort of hard goals, just to meet people and talk to everyone, which has been a lot, which is why neither of our voices are particularly great right now.
You sound way better than me.
And so it's been great. I mean, just meeting a lot of people. So I'm relatively new to the WordPress space, but it's still even being as new as I am, I'm seeing people again and again that I've met. It's like I'm seeing old friends. So it's fantastic. Yeah. People I met at Phoenix this year.
You and me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been great. And then it's a beautiful venue. This is a lot of fun. I haven't been to DC in like 20 years. So it's exciting to be back here. I'm going to do some touring after this, which will be good.
Very good. What do you think of the conference so far?
It's been really good. I've been like networking so much that I've missed a lot of the talks, but I'll definitely pick those back up after the conference.
Thank goodness they record them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because there's so much stuff I wanted to see and so many talks I wanted to hear, but you just start having a conversation and
there goes the time.
And there's an hour that's passed, right? It's amazing.
It's easy for sure. What do you think of the food here? Like, that has been the talk of this WordCamp, is that the food has been awesome. I think it has been. What is your opinion?
I agree. Of what I was able to get. Again, I like almost missed lunch yesterday. Like, I hadn't eaten for a while, and it's been fantastic. I just haven't been able to take much of it.
I understand.
Yeah.
What do you think is important in WordPress? When we talk about the community, we talk about software. How is it for your business? Maybe what do you hope to see to continue to develop in WordPress, the software, and the community? Let
me take that in a little different direction. Here's a topic of conversation that's come up a couple times here. Very much from a technical perspective, and it's one of the great things about WordPress traditionally has been that people can, like, even hobbyists can build businesses out of it. It's really easy to get into. You can build things easily with it. And we're kind of moving to a new direction where things are block-based. It's React-based, which is much harder to learn from a technical perspective than just like learning PHP. I mean, you can actually learn PHP inside of WordPress. It's a good way of doing it. Frankly, I did. And the React is not like that. So one of the things we want to make sure is that we don't create such a barrier to entry for people creating new things that that we end up like changing that culture.
Sure.
I mean, big companies, like the NASA's and all that, are fantastic. I mean, it does a lot of really good things, but we also want that to be from everyone from the like one person agency up to the biggest, government organization.
And even just bloggers, right? People who just want to put their thoughts out on the internet.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I use the term agency, but it really is just anyone who wants to build. It's a digital creator, really. And
it's easy for us in the industry to think about the business of WordPress, but I love the motto or tagline or whatever that WordPress is democratizing publishing.
Yeah.
Making it easy for people to put their thoughts, their business, and build a life around what they do on the internet.
And as we evolve, WordPress evolves in technology, we want to make sure that that's still possible. We don't want to change the culture. And by the way, I am a total believer in the direction that WordPress is going.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that that gap is filled. I mean, and maybe that's done by training, some making some things offered there.
Yeah.
But it's just a hard problem and something to be aware of.
Sure, in the culture of drag and drop, do it easy. Apps on your phone. We want to make sure that we don't lose the next generation coming in, and make it possible for my mother at 76 or my kid at 15 to be able to do what they want with WordPress.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to but it's also good to have like new technology that's exciting to a next generation, one like the one behind us, essentially, because I mean every group needs new people.
Right. We no longer use 8-track tapes.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I was like, try to record things on the radio with cassette tape, right?
Mhm.
And now we have like streaming music and things like that. We need to make sure that WordPress grows in the same kinds of directions and continues to adopt technologies that will incorporate the future.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll have a new generation to explain why the save icon looks like it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what is that box?
Yeah, exactly. What's a floppy disk? Yeah.
What's the future for MindSpun? What are you looking forward to with your company in the next year?
Yeah, and more WordCamps for sure. And what I really want to do is be more of a participant, especially at the like more regional level. And it is like I really enjoyed Phoenix because it was easier to maybe communicate with people at a like one-on-one basis. I mean, this is 2,500 people. I probably haven't talked to half of them. You know, you probably have.
Where's home for you?
Vegas, Las Vegas. Yeah,
That made it a lot easier for you to Phoenix, right?
it did. Yeah, and we did, most of the WordCamps that have come back so far have come back on the East Coast, but although Omaha's coming,
Yes.
yeah. So that's changing, and I think there's going to be a lot more in 2024. I'm really looking forward to attending.
I think so too. Post-pandemic, WordPress is taking a little bit of time to get back into in-person, but it's really starting to roll now, and it's going to be something
Agreed.
else next year.
I think so. We can all like learn how to talk to people again. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for taking some time to talk to me this morning. Any last words before we sign off?
No, that's it. Thanks so much for having me.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here right now with Tammy Listo. Tammy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do with WordPress.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Tammy Lister. I work at Inside as a WordPress developer. And I also work within Core as a contributor as well.
Fantastic. And I appreciate all that you do for sure.
Thank you.
How are you finding the conference this year? What do you think about WordCamp US 2023?
I think it's really great. There's something about a conference that's in a hotel, so it's nice and kind of relaxed. I think it's really expansive, which is great. The talks are really varied as well, which I think is nice. The pace of it's nice as well. I've been to some super interesting talks. The location has meant some very diverse speakers and some conversations as well. And there's certainly been some great social events as well. I think we've had all the social events. Yeah.
What do you see in the next year? What do you hope for in the next year for WordPress? And as we go forward?
I hope we pace ourselves. I think that's the biggest thing. I think the change of technology at the moment means we also have to remember to learn the change of technology and not just adapt without thinking. I hope we also nurture each other and don't wear each other out along the way. I hope that we don't just adopt the new shiny thing without thinking about what we're doing. There's a lot of like hopes and things there. We've got a great release in 6.4. It's one of those ones at the end of the year. We've had one before that just really means we can end mentoring some people that can go on to really set the tone going through the next year. So I hope for some different faces and voices within the project that we haven't heard. We've just had the community summit as part of this as well, which that always brings me to the point of wanting different people to be in spaces where other people were taking up before. So that's what I hope.
That, and what's in store for you for the next year?
Learning lots about development and trying to pace myself. I think that's really important. It's very easy to, when you're learning something, just go, oh, I need to learn everything. But something I've learned the past few years is I can't do all the things all at once, even though I want, because I don't have a time machine. So trying to do that, trying to not attend everything, but attend the right things. And I think everyone should maybe try and do that. You know, the pandemic meant we couldn't attend anything. And now what we can do is we can choose what we attend. So I would encourage everyone to try and take that approach. So we kind of want to attend everything now, right? So I hope for that. Yeah, just pacing and learning and really trying to use some of the new things, but also trying to make some of the older things better and iterate is important for me.
Let me ask you too. So in a few years back, we had an all women non-binary release squad, and we're doing that again.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts of that?
I think it is critical for a number of reasons. One, for the mentorship. I don't think we did the mentorship as much the last time due to the situation, you know. A whole world happened. No one can see that. No one can see the time and everything. And I think if we do it this time, the way we're doing it, there's so much with the cohorts and with the groups, there's so much potential for planting the seed for learning. That is incredibly important. I don't think we need to necessarily do it for every group and go around like a checkbox and doing it. I would like to see a point we don't need to do it.
Right.
Because if we don't need to do it, it means that we have managed to include everybody.
Exactly.
So I would love to see we get to obsolescence of it. But I think it's great. I think what we have to remember, and I think this time round, I will just note that some people have maybe not stepped back as much. And I would encourage, if you feel you are taking a space as someone who would come under that, if you can step back and be mentoring them, even if you do come under that, but you have been a long time contributor, but you could be a mentor, do that, move to the position of mentorship of someone who is newer would be really beautiful for you to do rather than taking up that space. It's something I've tried to move to a different role, but also in any area that I know, I've tried to move to a mentorship role because taking up less space in those roles means that people can move into them as well, which is really, really important.
And that's important for the future of WordPress to bring in the next generation.
Yeah, if like, it's kind of interesting, you know, when you're a kid and you lick all the ice creams or you lick all the cakes because you're like, mine. I know that's not good in COVID times to say that, but yeah. But it's that approach, right? Like if you feel that you need to like put your name badge on everything or own, and I think it's really important to make space and have visible space for people. We panic about vacancies in our project because we're like, oh no, someone's not filling these vacancies. Vacancies can actually be really beautiful and good because then people can think, oh my goodness, I can see that I could do something for myself. So seeing that is really important as well.
I love that. Any other thoughts that you want to share today?
I would just encourage everyone to be really gentle with themselves. And yes, you might be kind of going out into the world a little bit more in the community, but remember that those that you meet have had a lot of life going on since you last met them. That's been something that I've reminded. Anyone who's an introvert is probably an introvert plus now. Anyone, you know, people's lives have changed. You're meeting someone with years on their life, their abilities may have changed, their physicality may have changed, what you might see maybe an invisible illness now that they may have that they didn't have before. There is so much difference. So get to know the person that you thought you knew before at that, if you see them physically at WordCamp again. There's been a lot of that. like rediscovering, getting to know people when I went to WordCamp Europe and when I've gone here. And I would encourage people to do that, like reintroduce themselves to everybody. I think it's
I
really
love
important.
that. Very good advice. Thank you so much for taking
Yeah.
some time to talk with me today.
Thank you.
And I look forward to continuing our friendship after
Thank
this
you.
session, after WordCamp US.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm joined by Patrick Rollins. Patrick, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So yeah, my name is Patrick Rollins and I am obsessed with e-commerce. I've always liked e-commerce, WooCommerce, Shopify, just put everything. And recently I've been doing some marketing stuff. I've been doing some product stuff and I'm thinking about getting back into WooCommerce development.
I love that. What do you love about WooCommerce?
I love owning your own business. At every other platform on the internet, at some point they can change their terms and services and just like kick you off. And there's something so powerful about WordPress and with WooCommerce, especially e-commerce, you own that and you can just build your little empire and you start adding plugins and customizations and themes and you can kind of do anything. So it's the ultimate build your own empire tool.
Yeah. I think back a lot on the tagline that we have in WordPress about democratizing publishing. And I think it also democratizes e-commerce and commerce in general.
Absolutely. We did when I was at Woo Themes, we definitely talked about that. And I don't remember if we directly stole that tagline, but we definitely liked democratizing e-commerce. Yeah, it's very powerful.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that really is cool about it is that no matter where you are in the world, you have the ability to build a future
Yes.
and an income for yourself.
Yes. And a lot of people make things in the world, and it's just nice to be able to get those to people who want them. I have, as an example, I have a friend who makes like resin dice as a hobby, but she like can put them on her website for $70 and sell them to whoever wants them. I mean,
Absolutely.
I love that people can just do that with the technology out of the box.
I'll tell you that resin TikTok is an amazing, fun thing to watch.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. People who are watching this, yes, all the little dice makers are crazy. It's very, very
It's
cool.
wild.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. What do you hope to see? Well, first, let me ask you, what do you think of the conference so far? We're in day 2, if anybody is, if you're watching, day 2. And so we've had a little experience so far. What are your thoughts?
So I'm a conference snob. Let me start that at the top. I'm a conference snob, so take this with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, I did go to a talk, and there were like huge technical problems, and we actually didn't get to the talk, and I was really, or didn't get to the meat of the talk, and I was really sad about that. But today, this morning, the keynote was excellent. It was very inspirational, and I think those were very hard. I've organized WordCamp Denver in the past and other WordCamps. It's very hard to find a good, inspiring speaker. And I think Ken Liu, I can't remember if that's the correct name, but he was great. So I'm a little skeptical of, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And I went there and I enjoyed it and I loved it. And it was motivated me to find work that is playful and fun and I'm curious about, because that is when you that's when you do your best job.
Absolutely. Are you making good connections here?
Yes, new connections and old connections. It feels like a good mix of both. I like, you walk around and you see some people that you know and you say hi. And then, at lunch yesterday, I didn't see anyone I knew and I just talked to random people and also met and had a good time. And just so you know, I don't like doing it, but I like having done it, right? I don't like approaching a new group of people, but once I say hi and chat and sit down and have lunch with them, I'm like, oh, that was really fun.
It's like, I don't like traveling, but I like to be, I don't like, that's the flight, the drive.
Yes.
I get it, but being there is awesome, right?
Yes.
Same
Yes.
idea.
The flight. Ugh.
Exactly. So, as we look for the next year, up until maybe the next WordCamp US, what are you excited about or hopeful for in WordPress?
There seems to be maybe I want to see just more change and more progress and WordPress is it's slow moving.
Mhm.
And I just want to see a little bit more change and a little bit more movement. I think we're getting there. And I love I heard from some contributors that there's the community summit. They made a whole list of issues to address. And then the very next day, they started addressing some of those on contributor day. And that to me feels like progress. That format. I was at a community summit many years ago, and that was not the format that we had. And it feels like that just went into the ether.
Yeah.
And when you collect feedback, you should act on it. Otherwise, what's the point of collecting it?
Agreed.
So I think there is good movement, and I'm hoping that turns into real progress.
I love that. What are you hopeful for yourself in WordPress in the next year?
I want to find something new. I just finished up a 6-month contract with a client, which is really good. And we had really good results. And then, sometimes things just don't work out and you're like, oh, okay. I thought we were gonna keep working together. Okay. I thought we were great. So now I'm looking for something new, and I'm actually not sure if I want it to be part-time and I can do some online courses, or full-time. There's pros and cons to each.
Yeah.
Right now I'm excited about either doing marketing or doing WooCommerce development. That's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping to get back into.
Maybe a little combination of both.
Maybe a little combination of both. That'd be great.
Looking for your next great thing.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today, even though my voice is terrible, but yours sounds great. So thank you so much for taking the time. Love getting to know you a little bit more, and looking forward to seeing you at future conferences.
Thank you for chatting with me. But can I ask you one question before we sign
Absolutely.
off? I want to know what you're excited about for the next year for yourself.
Yeah, I'm excited about the work we do at Stellar WP and the things that are coming down,
Yeah.
and incorporating AI
Yeah.
to make our customers' lives easier.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then also cloud, we're working a lot with Katie's Cloud, Cloud, and those things are super exciting.
Learn-Cloud. I love the sound of that. Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool because you can have a WordPress, you can have a non-WordPress website,
Mhm.
and then have your e-learning on Learn-Cloud.
Very cool. I like that.
Not bad, right?
I like the things you're excited about.
And I look forward to seeing people at the next conferences as well. So,
Perfect.
excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. I'm joined by Emma Young from Hostinger. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. My voice is almost as raspy as yours, but it's good. It's okay. Yeah.
We should have done this on day one when we all still had
I
voices.
know, right?
What was I
Oh.
thinking?
It's okay.
Thank you for joining me this morning.
No worries.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do with WordPress.
Okay, great. Yes, so I am head of content at Hostinger. So we work a lot with WordPress because, well, I mean, we use WordPress to publish on our blog, but we write a lot of content about it. But more with contributing, I am, of course, on the docs team. I love documentation. I love consistency. I love a style guide. So anything writing, editing, just changing things from title case to sentence case and headings. And yeah, so I've started playing around a little bit more with marketing and with community, but docs is where my heart's at. Yeah.
That's awesome. And tell everybody if they don't know, what is Hostinger?
Hostinger is a web hosting provider. So what helps you get your website online. So if you have, I don't know, a CV type of portfolio, or if you want to sell something, we provide managed WordPress, fully managed WordPress hosting for really affordable prices, to be honest. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. What do you hope to see, or what do you expect to see either one over the next year for WordPress between, let's say, now and next WordCamp US?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to go to the summit. So it's been a long week for me, but it was crazy. It's my first one, crazy in a good way. The discussions and like the topics that came up were all things that I've always just wanted to talk, but maybe don't know like who to talk to about or how to make it happen. And it was just nice to see like so many people so passionate about the same thing. So main thing was cross-team collaboration. So how can we kind of cut out redundancy, especially in documentation?
Sure.
So like getting stuff from the hosting or devs and like changing those use case straight into documentation and then straight into learn WordPress. So people, sometimes we don't get the docs out like right with every release. That could really cut down the time, and people can just use it and have the information on how to use the new update so much faster.
Right.
So it would be really cool to see all of that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I love that there are people who are passionate about things that I am not passionate about, because we need people who are passionate about all parts of the project. And if I had to be passionate about documentation, that would be difficult for me. So thank you for being
Yeah.
somebody who's passionate about
I
docs.
love words.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What are you hoping to see for the next year at Hostinger?
Oh man, so we just we have managed WordPress like fully. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. So and I would love to see that, with all of the hosting companies, but we're very proud about that. You get a long list of everything just because you want to use WordPress. And we're all big advocates. We all contribute. So it's so I would like to see more people use it. I mean, I know about it, I guess, and be able to utilize all of these tools that we've set up for them. That would be awesome. Yeah. So maybe, and also, to be honest, because we're kind of new to the WordCamp area thing, people to be like, what's so not to say oh, what's hosting her? Like, you know, so
Yeah.
like they would actually like recognize our name. That would be really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are you finding the conference good? You enjoying it?
Yeah, that Woodrow Wilson Hall is massive, and I'm a volunteer again. So I did the help desk yesterday, which was fun because my jokes are landing a lot better here in the States. Sometimes when I made like jokes as volunteer in like Europe or Asia, it was they were like, huh? But here it's like everyone's okay with my like really bad dad jokes. Yeah, so I'm gonna maybe attempt some of them. I'll be emceeing the next track, but I peeped in like inside to see it, and I was like, oh man, this is like there's a lot of lighting, and I got a little nervous. So I was like, I'll be okay. But yeah, no, the conference overall is great. You know, like the food's good. And I've also been here since Monday. So the summit, the
Same.
contributors day, and then now volunteering. It's been awesome. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me today.
Yeah.
And looking forward to continuing our relationship in the future
Great. Thank
and
you.
be able to see you at future conferences.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. I'm here with Stella Rueda. Hopefully I said that right.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right,
good.
yeah.
I've known you long enough. I should say it
Yeah.
right now. And I'm excited to be here with you at WordCamp US. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me. So what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Introduce myself.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. at
Okay, so
WordPress.
I'm Estela Rueda. I contribute to WordPress to the documentation and the docs team. Oh, sorry, documentation and design teams. Probably, in the next year or so, I'm gonna be dangling with polyglots and Meta for a very special project that we are
Ooh,
working on. So,
exciting.
yeah.
Very good. How are you finding WordCamp US this year? Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. Very interesting. I've been meeting a lot of people that I've known online for a while. So that's been exciting, putting like they are like real people. Now I cannot keep on saying like, oh, my friends are in my computer. I've been meeting them. So that's good. That's always good. That's always a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. And you were an organizer for WordCamp Europe.
That's correct. Yeah.
And are you on the team here at WordCamp US also?
No. Can do just one WordCamp, one flagship WordCamp at a time. It's impossible to do
It's a
that.
lot.
It's a lot of work. So yeah, anybody who is doing a flagship, organizing a flagship event, this WordCamps, like hats off to them because it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
I have to say, WordCamp Europe accessibility was amazing. You worked very, very hard to make sure that I was able to access everywhere,
Yeah.
but that it made it accessible for everyone else as well. And I wanted to thank you publicly for all that you did and the constant communication we had to make sure that that I was aware of everything and that you were able to make things accessible.
I know. I asked you a lot of not easy questions
That's
for
okay.
it because we needed to, but that's also part of in my background. I have to say that my mother is she's been into accessibility all her life. She worked with when she started working with kids with special needs, and then she moved with kids with that had physical issues, to move around, mobility and all of that. And then so I just had it throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
You gotta look for this, you gotta look for that, you gotta make sure this is available, this is not available. And so I'm just used to it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And then and the other thing is that in Europe, the rules for that, the laws are like really, really there. It's not in here like you can get away with it, and if somebody sues you, then you go ahead and fix it. No, not in Europe. In Europe, it's just that it is.
Yeah.
And people follow it more. I was very amazed when I went back to Europe, how the cities have adapted, even though, the old constructions, all the buildings and everything, it's amazing. So yeah, we will always try it. And whenever I can, I will push it to make sure that, people can access places because
Yeah.
people need to be, everybody, we all need to have the same, we all have the same rights to the same type of life. So,
Yes, and I appreciate so much the work that you do.
thank you.
What are you looking forward to in the next year, not only in WordPress, but for yourself?
Oh, for myself, well, I'm moving. I'm moving from Slovakia, but I'm not gonna say where yet.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that information
Yes,
later.
that is gonna come soon. That's one thing. We're moving countries, still in
Okay.
Europe, but just moving countries.
Okay.
In WordPress, I will continue working in my small project that was about the recategorization of the help hub, the end user documentation. That was done, and then I had the smartest idea. I was saying like, well, what if we did this? Let's pass it along and translate it to know in as many languages as I can. So, I said that out loud, and somebody said, yeah, but I want this also for my team. And then somebody else said, yeah, but I want that also for my team. And, it just kept on echoing, and that's what we are working on. We're working on a proposal on how to translate the full content on the .org into the Rosetta sites. We have Josefa is behind this. She's been up to date with everything. We've been meeting after meeting with a lot of people, not so the proposal already. He gave us, a few pointers, and here we go. And we're still in pre-proposal. The final draft for the final.
We call that the early stages.
No, we just skipped on those. We're like in the mid-table place. And at the same time, I am collecting experiences from the local teams. All the issues and the pain points that they've been having when it comes to translation. We're talking about before translating, because we know the big problem we all have is the lack of contributors. So we are conscious of that, but we want to know before we get to that point, all the rivers that we need to cross before that are way too many. So that's what we're focusing. That's what I said. Like, we're in the final draft for the,
I love it.
But yeah, that's what it's going to be probably in the next couple of years. It is all facing, and it will all be coordinated with the development of WordPress, because we need the collaboration part and we need the multi-language part. So we are getting there.
Very good. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Just have fun.
That's right.
Contribute and have fun while doing it. And just remember, if you want to contribute and you don't think that you have a lot of time or you have a lot of experience, 1 hour a month, one meeting at a time, that's good enough. It helps a lot.
Absolutely. Perfect advice. Thank you. And thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. Good morning, Aruba. How are you?
Morning. I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little hoarse. So I'm gonna let you tell us about yourself, and I won't talk as much. So we're here at WordCamp US, and I've been talking to some amazing people today, yourself included. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with WordPress?
Yeah, well, I'm, a WordPress developer. I've been in WordPress for almost a decade, maybe a little longer.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. Someone was asking me today, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I've been here for a while doing WordPress things. But I'm a developer. I freelance. Sometimes I work with some agencies, and it's I just love building things for nonprofits, especially, empowering other people to be able to create stuff on their own. Yeah.
And you also have a podcast.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah. I have a development podcast called View Source with a really great friend and excellent developer, Brian Cords, viewsource.fm. And yeah, it's really, really fun to add sort of that developer perspective a little bit more into the community space, because, we all know about it, but it's fun to talk about it in public too.
It's fun for certain nerd types to talk about in public.
Yes. Well, we definitely geek out, but it's fun.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Sure. So looking at the next year in WordPress, what are you hoping, maybe expecting to see?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'm really excited about this admin redesign that's happening. And I really want to make sure that we're advocating for that extensibility and openness and making sure it's going to work for all the kind of people who are already established in the space. But also, how can we open that up and make even more things possible that maybe people have never imagined, but can become possible because of all of this happening?
Yeah.
And I'm really hopeful that 6.4 being this release with underrepresented people
Yeah.
is going to encourage even more people to get involved so that we don't necessarily have to do one that's called that. It just happens, it
Right.
just happens. I think that's something that I'm really hopeful about. And then I feel like there's a lot of awareness and, you've been really awesome
Yeah.
at making sure that, speakers are showing the diversity of our community.
Mhm.
And I want to see more of that more loudly, but without having to shout about it, if that makes any sense.
It'd be nice if diversity just started to happen naturally.
Yeah,
And I think part of that comes from empowering people
yes,
in the community
yeah,
to understand that their voice is just as powerful as everybody else's.
exactly. And sometimes they're so powerful that they lose them for a podcast episode. My goodness. Because we all know you have a very powerful voice and I'll appreciate that.
They really try to use it for good, for sure.
You do.
So what are you hoping to see for you in WordPress for the next year?
For me, honestly, I want to continue advocating for the block editor and for this modern WordPress development. I want to do some education. I'm hopeful to release a course about it and, do what I can to contribute even more because it's been a little bit hard, but I want to make sure that I'm also like walking my talk,
Right, yeah.
and yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking to do personally.
And in the past, you've been a really good advocate for self-care,
Yes.
especially within a community that's so busy with so much going on. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to take my own advice and sometimes that's hard,
It is.
but yes.
Trust me, I know I should be drinking tea and eating soup today. So
Yes, no, totally. But yeah, that's I'm really excited for not only having that better balance, but still like having the balance, but even being able to do a little bit more because you're able to be rested and taking breaks the right time and
Yeah.
being self-aware and having the community, support each other and doing so.
yeah, I love it. Any one of us disappearing, taking a step back, any period of time shouldn't impact the future of WordPress.
Yes.
We're all important
Yes.
and our roles are important, but we should
Yes.
have enough redundancy built in
Yeah.
that it's not reliant on any one person.
Yeah. We want to reduce that bus factor of one, in
Exactly.
any part of the project, especially when it's something that, powers so much of the web. It's pretty
Exactly.
critical. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
No, thank you for, sponsoring WordCamp US. And it's been such a great time, and it's been lovely seeing you. And I hope that the rest of it goes awesome.
Likewise, and I look forward to seeing you at future events.
Yes, thank you. Likewise.
Thanks for taking the time today.
No problem. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. We're here at WordCamp US, and today I'm joined by some of my friends, not just people I know in WordPress, but friends, Hans and Donata from Termageddon. So tell us a little bit about what you do, who you are, what you do with WordPress, and give us a little rundown.
Sure. So I'm Donata. I'm the president and legal engineer behind Termageddon. I'm also an attorney licensed in Illinois and a certified information privacy professional. So my job is to basically create all the questions needed to create the policies, create all the text, and then also keep our clients' policies up to date with changing legislation.
Just a few things.
Just a couple.
She's the smart one. So yeah, my name is Hans and I run agency partnerships at Termageddon. Excuse me. Termageddon is a website policies generator built for web agencies and their clients, helping agencies make some recurring revenues while helping their clients get protected with auto-updating website policies. So I work with agency owners, helping them understand why it's important to educate clients about privacy rights and the importance of complying with laws. And prior to that, I ran a 12-person WordPress web design agency in downtown Chicago.
I love that. And as a customer of Termageddon, I can attest to how wonderful it is not to have to worry about updating policies and knowing that no matter where somebody is in the United States or wherever, that I don't have to have a fear about what's on my website policy wise. So thank you for all the work that you do.
Yeah.
A great example at the time of this recording, in 5 days, people of Quebec get extra privacy rights under Quebec's new privacy law. And that's such a good example of we just try to monitor this stuff, keep our customers up to date and hopefully take care of them with the added disclosures.
I love it. It's wonderful. So thank you for all that you do to keep us all compliant.
We're trying.
How are you finding the conference so far? What are some highlights for you?
Really, really fun. So for me, my personal highlight, I'm Lithuanian. So Lithuania is a pretty small country with, pretty small population. But I met like over 20 Lithuanians here
Oh,
and
that's
we got to
cool.
speak Lithuanian. So that was really, really cool. That was the highlight for me.
Their eyes popped out of their faces. They were so surprised to see
Yeah,
Donata,
very
fully fluent.
unexpected.
Yeah, it's really cool. For me, it is the standard, which is I'm getting to see all my friends that I haven't seen. We formed all these relationships for years over emails, over support, over video calls and everything. And then you get to see what I say 3D. We get to see each other in 3D, which I think for everyone else is in real life, but for me, it's 3D. So old friends and making new friends. I mean, that is why I love it here. So
Yeah.
I've heard people say to others, you're so much taller than when you're just in that little box on my screen.
Yeah, I've been told at this conference that apparently I look significantly different in person. And I don't know if that's bad or good. So
But you look the same to me, but
thank you.
I've known you a long time. What do you hope to see, or what do you expect to see, either one, in WordPress over the next year?
So I'd love to see agency owners helping other agency owners. That I think that I think the industry is very excited about AI and like giving end users the ability to build websites as efficiently and effectively as possible. That is wonderful. But I also, knowing what it's like working with small business owners and how busy they are, that I think there's always going to be a place for agencies. And I think just encouraging agencies to learn from one another. That's something that was extremely, extremely beneficial for me when I first joined a WordCamp. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's other people that like know my pains and like know my struggles and also know my wins. And like, I just don't want to ever lose that. And I would say it would be great for us to continue focusing on helping agency owners as well as single website owners be successful.
Agencies of one.
Agencies of one, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to see more WordCamps come out again. We were shut down for a while. So I'm really hoping for more WordCamps because it's so fun to go. It's so fun to see everybody. So I'm really hoping it doesn't stop again. I'm really hoping we can continue this.
The smallest WordCamps are our favorite, like Jackson, Michigan. That was
Yeah.
such an awesome one. Like,
So hoping to see the smaller ones come back to you as well as the bigger ones.
Excellent, for sure. What's on the horizon for Termageddon? What can we expect in the next year?
Well, we have a new interface launching. So we have completely redone pretty much everything. So we have a new interface launching later this year. Really taking into account all the feedback that we've gotten from our partners, all the calls that we've had with our customers, and kind of creating a new flow, a new way to create policies. That's hopefully going to be easier for both agencies and clients, and more efficient. So we have a lot of new features planned. Looking very forward to that.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
if anyone's listening, and you plan to go to a WordCamp, or if you have any questions about attending a WordCamp, please email me, hans@termageddon.com, HANS@termageddon.com. I would be more than happy to share my thoughts with you.
Yeah, same.
Excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day here to share some thoughts with us. I appreciate you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Still here at WordCamp US, and I am joined by my friend and WordPress developer, business owner,
Day husband.
day husband, WordPress community member extraordinaire, Mark Westgard from WS Forum. Hi, Mark. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So my name is Mark Westgard, and I run the WordPress form plugin called WS Form. And we've been around for about, I want to say 5 years now. Excited to see lots of growth and meet lots of customers at the event. Yeah, I mean, 5 years ago, we were telling people who we are, and now people are coming to us and telling us what they're doing with our product. So that's, it's been great.
That is definite momentum.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been asking people here today is, how are you finding the conference? What are some highlights for you? And you're a
Yeah.
sponsor, so
Yeah.
you might have a little bit of a different answer than others.
Yeah, so the first 2 days I was just meeting people, and it was great to see some people that I've been working with over the years, and they were finally able to come to the event. So we firmed those relationships up over a beer, and and then the event itself has been great. It's been good foot traffic. We've met lots of customers, and then a bit slower on day 2. It always is. So we've been doing lots of networking and meeting other companies here, and the opportunities to meet people and build relationship. This is the place to do it. You know,
Absolutely.
it really is great to do it in person. It's difficult doing it offline. You know, you'll send an email to someone, they don't know who you are, but when you just meet people through other connections that you've got, it's really great to firm up relationships. So yeah, very worthwhile.
And you were somebody who sponsored WordCamp Asia,
Yep.
WordCamp Europe, and WordCamp US.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to ask you to contrast and compare them because they're
Yeah.
also vastly different.
they are. Yeah.
But it's like the trifecta. This is the first year anybody could have done all three because
Yeah.
it was the first year of WordCamp Asia.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Asia was incredibly busy. Completely different crowd from here. Lovely people. It was really great to meet everyone there. I didn't stop talking for 2 days. It was, what was interesting is I was hanging out with like Bob there and you, and it was like we were celebrities. You know,
it was pretty awesome.
it was interesting to see the different types of development groups that were there and stuff. They were taking selfies with us. It was so much fun. And then Europe was just its usual 2-day of I didn't stop talking again. And it's always great to go to those countries as well and enjoy the cities as well. So yeah, it's good fun.
Awesome. So in the next year, what do you hope to see? Maybe even expect to see in WordPress?
More development in the full site editing and everything. We really want to follow along with that and do a lot more on the styling side of things. So I'm actually building a site right now for a client, which is going to be full site editing all the way through. So that's been a good experience to kind of learn it a lot more and then incorporate that more into the WS Form. So that's going to be probably one of my biggest focuses over the next 12 months is, looking at more ways that we can give users the ability to style stuff within full site editor. Yeah.
This year you launched, I told you I was going to ask you what's in the future for WS Form, but the recent past is pretty exciting too.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you've recently launched and
Yeah.
maybe what a sneak peek into what's coming.
So a couple of big things we've done this year is firstly the AI integration. So we've integrated in with OpenAI. We've done some fun stuff there. We've got the ability to build a form just by typing what you want. I mean, literally you could say, make me a dog adoption form and it'll build it for you. It's quite crazy.
It is.
And but then we've also integrated in with the other parts of OpenAI, such as moderation. So you can use that to check the content that's coming through on a form and check it for any kind of malicious, violent content, and then get rid of that stuff because we don't like that stuff. So you can use OpenAI to do that. And then also like image generation and the content generation too. People use that to create maybe an avatar for a user or a blog post image. So that's got some great applications. And then we've just done an integration with InstaWP, which has been great. So we wanted to redo our demo of WS Form on our site. We got in touch with InstaWP and then instantly found that we could build an add-on together. So you can now spin up InstaWP websites from WS Form. In the future, I've got a few things up our sleeves, but probably more integrations, more functionality, listening to our customers to see what they want to do. We have a feature request page. We're always running through that. We've got a new Molly integration coming in for European payments. So I'm excited to get that live as well. So yeah, all sorts going on.
Fantastic.
We're finally at the end of our WordCamp season. So but may come to Rochester to come and see you. So
That would be lovely.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
I think this event has just been, I think the most exciting thing for me has just been meeting those faces that I've been talking to forever. And we've just sat down and got on like we've known each other for years, which has been great. And then we've met each other. I feel like I've been drinking for 4 days. I'm exhausted. It's been great fun. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking time out from your table, your booth today
Yeah.
to share some thoughts with us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks. Grateful to have my friend Anil Gupta from Multidots here today. And Anil, thank you for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with WordPress.
Yeah, so hey everyone, this is Anil, and I'm a CEO and co-founder of three different businesses and brands. So Multidots is our agency business where we do a lot of WordPress migrations for enterprises and large publishers. Multi-Collab is our product business where it's a Google Docs style editorial collaboration solution that address to large and medium-sized teams and publishers. And then we have a third business called Dot Store, where we sell WooCommerce, premium WooCommerce plugins and extensions for e-commerce businesses. So yeah, those are the three brands that I'm looking into. And we started this 14 years ago. It has been 14 years of journey.
Oh, that's amazing. How are you finding the conference so far? What are some highlights for you?
Yeah, so I'm an introvert by nature. So whenever I have to go to any conference in general, like, I've been to a lot of different conferences outside WordPress. But every time I have to go to the conference, I would feel like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like as an introvert, like I don't make that many plans.
Yeah.
And also it's not something that I like looking forward to go out and talk. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do, and how I'm gonna kill my time
Yeah.
and use my time. But every time I come to the WordCamp specifically, I have experienced that like time flies by, and the moment I'm out, like I randomly just see different people
Yeah.
here and there. And I will look in my watch and it will be like 2 hours I was talking to that person. So yeah, WordCamp always surprise me, challenges me in a really, really good way to go out and connect with the people. And yeah, everyone is very nice. So so far, my experience has been, I think, particularly not planning anything, just walking in this building randomly and just running into a random person. Sometimes I know them, sometimes I don't know them. So it was really great feeling to just connect with the old people that I've been in touch with and meeting some random people and that. Second thing I would say, I find it, and that was one big thing that I put it on my note this morning, that every time I go to WordCamp, I feel much more inspired. I got learned some new ideas and inspirations, and I was like, that's my big thing, because like a lot of time I am like running a business or an agency, and yeah, when things are going good, they're going good. But when you go out and meet new people and go to the conference, like events like this, I learn some new perspective, So sometimes it's not an aha moment, but it just inspires you to go and focus more and on your growth. So yeah, I think it has been definitely my big highlight is in last 2 days. It has been a great time of learning, growing, and getting inspired.
I love that. I find our community very inspiring as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, and when you come together with this many people,
Yeah.
of course, you're going to do all those things.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
wonderful.
exactly. You're not planning, you don't have any structure. You just go out and things happen, At the end of the day, it's like, wow, I talked to 20 people and I have this 20 new ideas and inspirations. So yeah, it's just amazing.
Fantastic. What do you hope to see in WordPress over the next year?
I would say I would like to see more topic specific focused. So let's say if there are talks or maybe get meetups or gathering more on specific topic, because I feel like sometimes it's hard to find the common interest within this big event. So let's say if someone is interested in enterprise WordPress, or someone is doing a WordPress plugin business, but they have less than let's say less than 100 customer at this moment. So how to grow from 100 to 1,000 customer, or they have like 0 customer, how to go from 0 to 10. So this kind of like little focused topic and focused group if we have something on those lines, like maybe a topic, a track, or something like a small group where we can connect and we know that everyone here has the same situation or goal, like, that would be great. Like, or agency with maybe like 50 people, agency with less than 10 people, like something where
Yeah.
people have like something in common. I would like to see that more. Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
What can we expect to see from you and Multidots in the next year?
Yeah, so we have been working a lot on a lot of, especially in our agency side, we have been growing a lot, working with a lot of enterprise clients and that. But product side, like Multi-Collab and Dot Store, we have been focusing a lot on making these two products even much more accessible to the wider audience. So Multi-Collab specifically, it's a collaboration and we launched some basic features like you can pretty much at this moment you can replicate whatever you do in Google Doc. 80% of that feature that you can do in our plugin. In the next few months, we are launching the real-time editing feature. We already did the beta of that 3 months ago. And we have, I think, more than like 1,000 people who signed up for the beta. They loved it. We got a lot of great feedbacks. So now we are bringing that feature in Multi-Collab. So once I have that feature in Multi-Collab, then it will be 99 or even 100% to what you can do in Google Doc. So that's a big thing. Yeah, and I'm also focusing on creating more content and value for the entrepreneurs. So I started a new podcast called Peaceful Growth, where I have started interviewing some of the WordPress entrepreneur or outside WordPress entrepreneur. And then we talk about how they're growing their business or product, but at the same time, how they are managing the balance of health, mental health, physical
Sure.
health, and other aspect of the growth.
So
So that's what
important.
we are trying to
Yeah.
combine together. Yeah.
I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I'm just so great to be here. And one little story that I tell that my first WordCamp was 2014 in San Francisco. That was my first time actually being in a conference and like seeing the WordPress community. Yeah, and people have been so nice, so warm, welcoming. And since then, I just love going to the WordCamp. So yeah, huge respect and love for the whole WordPress community and making me feel warm about them and appreciated.
That's wonderful. Thank you for taking some time out of your time here at WordCamp US to talk with us. I appreciate you very much.
You're welcome. And thanks for having me here, Ms. Well.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. Katie Keith from Bar 2 Plugins has joined us. Thank you for being here, Katie.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do with WordPress.
So I'm the CEO and co-founder at Barn2 Plugins. We have about 23 plugins now, most of which are WooCommerce, but our best-selling plugin is actually not WooCommerce. It's a document library plugin, which makes it difficult to describe what we do.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
We do a little bit of, we dabble, we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But you do it all well, which is
Thank you.
important. How are you finding the conference so far? Any highlights you'd like to share?
It's been amazing. I think my highlight is spending time with my friends that I've already knew, people from my mastermind group and other WordPress friends, and getting to know everybody better as you do at every WordCamp.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but also meeting new people, particularly product company founders and the occasional customer as well, which is always lovely.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you were at WordCamp Europe this year.
Yes, we sponsored it.
Yeah. It's your first time sponsoring a WordCamp, I think.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
It was all a learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a really good experience. Yeah, it brought my team together in ways I didn't expect. I was thinking more about the brand building consequences, supporting the community, all that kind of thing. But actually, my biggest benefit that I got out of it was watching the team have a shared purpose in a way. It made them bond more than if they were just attending together and going out for dinner or something.
Exactly. And is your team a remote team?
Yes, we're entirely remote. There's 17 of us, soon to be 18, and we never meet other than at WordCamps.
So that really makes it special.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's wonderful. What do you hope to see in WordPress over the next year?
I hope to see the block editor project continuing to move forward towards what I suppose I see the ultimate goal for it as being to give WordPress a sort of really simple web builder drag and drop style experience, which anybody can just pick up without any technical expertise. And I don't think it's quite there yet. So I'd like to see it continue moving in that direction.
Wonderful. And what can we expect to see from Bard 2 plugins on the horizon?
We have 2 new plugins in the works. One is a WooCommerce discount plugin, and one is a WooCommerce checkout editor plugin, which lets you edit the fields on the checkout. And both of those will work really well with our existing plugins. So we're looking forward to that. And after that, we're going to kind of take a step back and do some like internal work, automations and things like that, and also add a lot more features to our existing plugins.
Wonderful. I have had the pleasure of working with you on the WP Speakers site.
Yeah.
You were kind enough to donate one of your plugins. It's working beautifully. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, that plugin is Post Table Pro, which takes any type of content from your website, in this case speakers, and displays it in a searchable table. So you created a custom post type called speakers and used it to display that searchable directory of speakers. And it's got cool things like filters, so you can choose what topic they speak about and things like that to really narrow down the list. And people use the same plugin for all sorts of things like listing and members directories, audio galleries, video galleries. It was initially designed to display blog posts in a kind of an index. So for a massive blog, it can get very long, just scrolling through page after page.
Sure.
So it was originally developed to do that for a blog.
I love it. And I'm so appreciative of the work that you do.
Yeah, and WP Speakers is great, and I've had one inquiry from it so far.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think it's going to make a real difference to the community.
Thank you. It's been a labor of love for sure.
Yeah.
And watching the database grow has been really, really fun.
Excellent. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
No, just thanks for talking to me. It's been a great conference, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the day.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to meet with us. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
WP Constellations is a production of Stellar WP, home of the events calendar, LearnDash, Give WP, Cadence, Iconic, Solid WP, Orderable, and Restrict Content Pro. Learn more about the Stellarverse at stellarwp.com.